Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and this is Broku no Hero. We're going to be talking about Black Clover, and one of my favorite things about this series, the beautiful duality of the series. Now, duality can mean different things to different people. I kind of take it as, duality as dark and light, or also duality in the sense of parallels, if two people are similar and following a similar journey. I think that Black Clover and the creator of it, Yuki Tabata, has done a great job of displaying a whole lot of these dualities and parallels within the series, and this is really good for seeing these parallels as to basically see the disparity between these things. What, despite the same paths people have followed, how they ended on their path. And this just adds more to the story, adds more to the beauty of it, and it's just one of my favorite things. So I'm going to talk about a few of my favorite dualities or parallels in Black Clover. That's what this video is about. Now, there will be some manga spoilers, so warning for that, but they should be, I guess, not too bad, but they might be, so that's why I'm going to put the warning there. But anyways, if you guys do enjoy this video, please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as well as turn on notifications so you're notified every time I upload a video. And if you do enjoy, please share this to your friends on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, however you like to share it. But anyways, we're going to start with my favorite duality, and this is a very obvious one. That is Asta and Yuno. And of course, it starts off as very obvious and basic. Yuno is born with extreme amounts of magic power, extreme amounts of mana. He's one of the strongest characters in the series. And Asta is born with absolutely no mana. He doesn't get mana. That was already a duality or an opposite or a parallel. But when you add in the fact he gets anti-magic powers, that makes it even more so. Yuno, the epitome of magic. Asta, the epitome of the opposite. The epitome of anti-magic. There are also dualities in the fact that Yuno is tall and handsome and quiet. And Asta is very short, not known to be very handsome, and very, very loud. So there's a lot of dualities here, but it really, really works, and it makes the rivalry that much better. Because despite their differences, they still have a mutual respect for each other. They love each other. They're like brothers. They both want to be the Wizard King, but they'll do anything to become the Wizard King, but they'll also do anything so that their rival, their brother, their duality, to also achieve their goals and get them closer to become the Wizard King. And that's why I think it's partially a great rivalry, is the duality of it, but also the way they act towards each other. A lot of shonen rivalries are just full of aggression and jealousy. I mean, Vegeta and Goku, Bakugo and Deku, and more. Now, I'm not saying those are bad, but this is just a refreshing take on rivalry. And then you add a duality in it, it makes it even better. Now, on to the next duality, and that is William Vengeance and Patri. Now, this is mainly because they're magic types, but also, they share a body. They both look like Licht because they share a body, and they were both basically had bad things happen to them when they were kids, and are trying to go about ways to kind of get revenge on that. But what I like with their duality is Patri has light magic, and William has world tree magic. Now, the light from the suns, it is what gives plants life, and even though William isn't just plant or tree magic, it is world tree magic, it's still a tree, still a plant, and trees still need sunlight or light to basically thrive and live. So I like that basically they had that duality towards, they kind of need each other. Basically, because William thought of it as his goal to protect Patri when he was just a sleeping soul inside of him. And it kind of gives that where William is watching over Patri, but then again, Patri has light magic and would be nourishing William's tree magic. Although that doesn't happen, that's just symbolism. One of the also greatest parallels is Licht and Lumiere. Both were born to basically be the leaders of their said tribes or countries. Licht, the leader of the elf tribe. Lumiere was the prince of the humans or the Clover Kingdom, not to the point where he'd be the king yet, and then basically died being crowned posthumously the Wizard King. Or at least posthumously, people thought he was dead, whereas he was actually just turned into a statue by Sekra and sealed inside of it. But still, it's the fact that they have both extreme magic powers. Now, when it comes to just pure, I guess, human-like thing, humanoid-type beings in Black Clover, Licht and Lumiere have the highest magic amounts ever. Now, you could say the Ancient Demon God has more, but I'm not considering that. I'm considering that more of a beast. Licht, Lumiere are humanoid-like in nature, and both have the highest magic amounts. Both were born with 4-leaf clover grimoires. Both had the same ideals. They want to have peace between the humans and the elves. They want to get rid of basically disparity and classes. And also what I think is really cool is Lumiere can use his light magic to create swords, and Licht uses his sword magic to create basically swords. It looks like they're swords of light, so that's an opposite. Lumiere uses his light magic to create swords. Licht uses his sword magic to create swords of light, which I think was a really cool thing that they did. Lumiere and Licht, also, their name both means light. Licht and Lumiere and their respective languages both mean light, which I thought was a really cool thing there for a parallel. So they had a lot of parallels. Another great duality was Patri versus Yami. And what it was at the time was Licht versus Yami. Licht, at the time, we thought that this guy's name was Licht. It's really Patri, but still, both of their names meant the opposites. Licht meant light, Yami meant dark. Licht had light magic, Yami had dark magic. Both, though, were just basically had rough lives because of the same country. Yami was basically a foreigner who crashed onto Clover Kingdom land and was basically abused or bullied for being a foreigner. And also Licht, who was actually Patri, basically they had dualities and parallels at the same time, and Licht could create swords of light, and Yami used darkness to surround his sword. Another duality is William and Yami. They shared the parallel of basically having rough childhoods, basically kind of being abandoned. Yami, and accidentally by his family because he went fishing by himself, crash landed onto the Clover Kingdom. William was a bastard son of a noble, was banished to the Forsaken Realm until his father needed an heir, and he was taken in. And William was abused and bullied for a scar, and Yami was abused and bullied for being a foreigner and looking different and talking different from everybody else. Whereas the duality of this, Yami rose through the ranks, became strong, and thus became a captain and grew to respect the kingdom and want to protect it. Yami rose through the ranks, became a respected captain who loved to protect his country, whereas William grew to actually not really despise his country because he did want to protect it for Julius's sake, but also aided and abetted the actual terrorist group, the Eye of the Midnight Sun. So this is duality. They were both basically raised in a way by Julius, became vice captains under his name, were both given their own brand new squads. William's squad rose to prominence very quickly. Yami's took a very long time to come in, and despite William having the greatest squad at the time, betrayed the kingdom. Yami didn't, and he protected the kingdom throughout the elf invasion. Veto and Asta shared a great duality, Veto being the personification of despair, and Asta being the personification of hope. Asta was a commoner with no magic, fighting basically an elf with magic to surpass captains, and he loved to give despair to people. He didn't just try and beat you right away, he wanted to make it last, he wanted to give you despair. He fed on despair. Asta, what his whole goals was to bring hope to everybody. Commoners and peasants could be just like royals and nobles. Even when Veto had given Asta his greatest despair, of basically making so his arms were not even usable, Asta pushed through, and with the help of Finral and Vanessa, and in the anime even more of the Black Bulls, would persevere through and defeat Veto. And even when Asta, after the fight, when it seems like all hope should have been lost, when he couldn't use his arms anymore, he said, "Screw you, fate," and pushed through. Asta has hope. Veto was despair. Now when you have Fauna, of course, her thing was hate, whereas the Black Bulls who fought her, it was a love thing. The Black Bulls at this time had grown to love each other, and that's how they would eventually defeat Fauna. It was through just pure love. Even at points in the fight, Asta would just kind of stop and try and push Fauna to basically figure out what's going on and try and reunite the people. This is because Asta was using love, Fauna was hate, and even in the very end, when they completely stopped Fauna, it was through sheer love. Mars loved Fauna, so Asta and Mars grouped up together and pushed through so they could stop her hate. Another third eye duality was Raya's disloyalty and Asta's loyalty. Asta wants to bring people together and stay loyal to them. He wants to have their people and their people brought together. Asta's people, Raya's people brought together, and he would stay loyal to that. Whereas Raya was disloyal because he knows that this is what Licht wanted. This was an opportunity for Raya to follow through with what Licht wanted, but instead he wanted to bring Licht and the elves back and continue with the elven reincarnation. Now, yeah, he brought Licht back, but through this he stayed disloyal. He knew that Licht was not behind this, so he stayed disloyal while Asta and Miriel, Leona, and Zora were pretty much being loyal. And the final one, this is more of a minor one, but this is Fugolion and Nozel. Both royals, both extremely powerful, both captains, but this is a duality of arrogance and justice. Nozel is a royal, and oftentimes royals are just stuck up. They are cocky, they are elitists, and that's exactly what Nozel was. Nozel would talk down to commoners and peasants, probably even nobles. His own sister, who was a royal, was extremely weak because she couldn't control her magic, but she was still a royal, and he looked down on her like that. He was arrogant, whereas Fugolion didn't care really that much about what class you were. He just cared what you could produce, what you could do if you were strong. He didn't care if you were a peasant and you were strong. He doesn't care if you had zero magic and you were strong, like Asta. Fugolion admitted he was wrong. He should have tried to get Asta to join his squad. He saw Yami, saw something he didn't see, but now he was seeing it. And one of the greatest quotes from Black Clover is, "There's nothing wrong with being weak. Only staying weak is what you should fear." That, of course, that was an embellishment of the actual quote, but you guys know the quote. That is one of the greatest quotes. It doesn't matter, there's nothing wrong with being weak. Staying weak is, though. There's something wrong with staying weak. Because if you are weak, you can push through it. But if you're staying weak, that means you're not doing anything about it. Black Clover, every single person in Black Clover has the potential to be very strong. You train physically, increase your mana control, and gain new spells by putting yourself out there. No matter what, even if you have a 1 out of 5 on the magic amount chart, you will be very powerful. Because even if you have a 1 out of 5, if you get your magic control and magic sensing to a 5 out of 5, get your physical strength to at least a 4, if not a 5, and then also gain powerful spells because of the situations you were in, you will be strong no matter your magic amount. You can always push through. So I love that dynamic, the duality of Nozel and Fugolion. But that's really it. What other parallels or dualities do you like in Black Clover? These are just a few of the ones that I really do enjoy. But anyways, guys, please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you did enjoy. Let me know your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Plus...